Hi folks, this is Dr. Kat Schreier, the Water Bubble journalist. Be in the know with the WaWa Mojo with the watershow.org and WaterCitizen.com. Helping to post on Water and Water Citizen News. And I'm here with fabulous Nicole Brown from AECOM, head of the water section, right? Did I get that right?
Yep, in the area.
Fantastic, yes. Fantastic. And you're going to be moderating, well, you were just here organizing the Women's Networking Lunch with the Diversity Committee. Tell us a bit about what's going on with the Diversity Committee right now at AWWA.
So I've been on the Diversity and Member Inclusion Committee for 5 years now, and for the past 3 years I've coordinated all the activities at ACE. So this year we've got a diversity coffee, a chance for women to talk during lunch. This afternoon we've got a panel discussion of some women leaders and why you have to understand the value of women in our industry and in any industry as a leader. And then tomorrow we've got more events. We've got a technical session that talks about recharging the workforce. So we're looking at diversity in the past, the present, and the future of our industry. I'm really excited about that one. So we're talking to veterans about current needs of getting veterans involved in our industry, and some young people, some young professionals about that, and some STEM organizations that are doing more things to get more diverse candidates in the pipeline. So it's a great, it's going to be a great event.
Yeah, I do. In the past, we've been covering big water events like ACE and WEFTEC for years, and I get a little concerned sometimes when we just see the networking events and not actual sessions talking about where are we at? We're numbers people.
Right.
What are the numbers showing us right now?
Well, I mean, I think that a lot of people say, well, we are definitely doing better. But, I think one of our issues is that we typically focus on just gender. We don't look at diversity as a more encompassing, like we don't look at veterans, we don't look at race, we don't look at disability. And these are other things that we are they're harder conversations to have, but they're necessary. So that's why I'm of the mind that we need to just encourage anyone and everyone to be in a STEM field. Because it's not to say, oh, we need just more, Native Americans, or we need more, veterans. We need everybody. So we have to look at it more holistically.
So what in a nutshell is the business case for diversity?
So, I mean, I am a firm believer that when you have a diverse team, you have a better product. So I'm a consultant, so I'm always trying to get a better product to my client. And first of all, I should always look like the person that's across the table. So I should reflect my client. And you have a client even if your client is someone you work with, right? There's still someone that you have to present a product to. So I think that we need to focus on looking like being the mirror to our society. And if our society is diverse, then we should be diverse. And if we always, one of the best examples that is in the mainstream is Hidden Figures, right? Mm-hmm. That movie showed that, if you haven't seen it, go see it, that especially in a technical field, if you all come from the same background, you will all get the same answer, and it might not be the right answer. So sometimes you need people from different backgrounds to have different opinions and different techniques, different problem-solving abilities, and that way you can get a better product.
Yeah. And, I have been seeing that and we've tried to do a lot with Water Citizen News. We're profiling people. We do the Hispanic Water Leaders series. We've done Water and Civil Rights Movement. Mm-hmm. Certainly Flint brought up a lot of issues regarding race. Katrina. And we're seeing more. The water agencies tend to be public agencies, right? And so there sort of is more of that mindset of who do we represent and how do we present that. Are we seeing the engineering firms, the environmental consulting firms, keeping up with that, especially given the way the leadership works in those organizations, that when you get to the top, you have to be selected to be an associate or a principal or a VP or whatever. How does that... Are people talking about that?
So I don't think they're talking about it enough. I think that my personal opinion is that a lot of times you'll put someone, let's say your mayor is African American, and then you bring an African American to the interview or on the team. But that doesn't mean that they're impacting. That doesn't mean that they're, you don't need a token. That's exactly what you don't need. You need someone that is effective in their position and that can, or don't just put them on the proposal to say you've got black people. Right. That's the opposite of what we should be doing. And I think that if the decision maker across the table they usually recognize that this isn't real. So don't you're doing yourself a disservice, and you're actually insulting that person, because you can see through, it's transparent. So I think that we need to be more cognizant. And I tell everyone, whenever you sit at a table, at a room, in a meeting, just do a quick survey of the people in the room. Okay, if they all look exactly like you, no matter who you are, something is amiss, right? You need to have a more diverse room, and especially if you're a master of the industry, right? If you're the top leadership and you definitely don't have any diversity, there's really something. So that's something that everyone can do, and if you're more aware of that, what's missing, I should not be the only person that's saying we need diversity. Just because I'm a diverse candidate, I shouldn't be the only thing that you see me as. You should see everyone as an important person to give input to the table.
And what is your background and your career path?
Sure. So I'm an engineer. I started off doing water work in New York City. I had a great 10 years in doing that, and actually doing the groundwater system in New York City, which most people don't even know exists. It is there. And then I've always been on the drinking water side, and doing, kind of just traditional design work within the plant, inside the fence. Right. And recently, I realized that through that work, I've created a great network, because I just like talking to people. And so when you are, when you can sit down and find out what your client's needs are, like really get down to the heart of what those are, you can have a different conversation. It's technical, but it's also very personal, because people take their water systems personally, especially leadership, right? They want the best for their customers, so you should be able to have that conversation with them. And so I've been able to kind of grow the business, and that's really my role is to grow the business in the water world in the Philadelphia region. And I'm excited to see what can be done, because there's a lot to be done. We're an urban center that has the leadership of most cities in that area are very passionate about providing great water and great services to their customer base. So I'm glad to be able to go hand in hand with them and get the job done.
Nice. And we've had within the consulting profession, especially, there have been a lot of mergers and acquisitions. There's been a lot of the high-end design planning kind of firms. MWH, now part of Stantec, more of a construction background, and C.H. Hill, now part of Jacobs. And as especially as leadership in those organizations are kind of duking it out, or seeing who's going to leave, who's going to stay. How is that playing out for the women and minorities that have gotten to the higher levels?
That's a good question. So I actually think that in a way it helps. So I do think it's a little scary for us in general to have these centers of power, like you said, these mergers. Trust me, AECOM is the biggest of them all, so I understand that concept. But previously I was with Malcolm Perney. We got acquired by Arcadis, and it was scary. Mergers are scary for everyone because you don't know where you fit. But I think the benefit to me is that I like change in general. So I think that change gives you an opportunity to see where you fit, and sometimes you don't fit, and that's okay. You can fit somewhere else. There's always a place for you. But I think I took the opportunity to say, well, we've got a new organization, and this is how I see myself in that new organization. Yeah. And not saying I got exactly what I wanted, but it gave me an opportunity to say, this is where I think I fit in what's going on. So I actually have a couple of friends that are, women of color especially, that have had the chance to say, this is where I think I fit, and you kind of stake your claim. And if nothing else, someone sees you differently. Because in your old firm, they saw you one way. Right. But this is a whole new organization, and you have a chance to kind of reinvent yourself and say, this is what I can do for you. And it's a different conversation. It's a good one to have.
Nice. Well, it's exciting times. It's exciting that these conversations are being had. I think the Me Too movement has really... I think it really shook up a lot of women.
I agree.
Especially in this profession where we tend to try to be one of the boys. Yeah. And water is a team sport. I was the only girl on the boys' soccer team. We are the Title IX generation. Yeah. We're used to being the only woman in the room. And, and there's a lot of camaraderie in that, and it can be really great. And when issues come up, it's hard to talk about. How is that? Is it getting any better?
Is it getting any better? In a way it is, because I think we are more comfortable having the conversation, but they're never going to be easy conversations to have. So what I say is that even though I can have that conversation because I'm confident having those conversations, not everyone is. And until, you don't have to really, be a real go-getter, outgoing kind of person to get your point across,
Right.
It shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't be that is the criteria that you have your voice heard. So that's why, I say in some ways it's good because those that can speak do speak, but just even in the Me Too movement, the people that have spoken up were confident in speaking up, but there are, for every one that spoke up, there are probably 9 that didn't, right? And so those voices need to be heard in their own special way, and we have to figure that out. So, just because I'm loud and boisterous doesn't mean everyone is. So I want to be able to speak for those that aren't, and make sure that they find their path too. We all deserve that.
Yeah. Well, and, one of the things that I was saying. I was at a consulting firm. We had a women's organization within the firm, and what I learned was actually created by the men in the firm because some consultant told them that we were losing all the women right when we got to the leadership level. And unfortunately, what often happens is, there are times when it's true that somebody wants to spend more time with their kids or wants to, or their husband moves or whatever, but also times when that's a convenient excuse, and women go and try to start their own firm. And again, water is a team sport. It can be very hard to just go solo. So are people thinking about opportunities to bring back women and minorities who left, started their own firm, went and did something else, but really still have that passion to be part of a larger firm and a larger team again?
I don't think there's a concerted effort to do that. And to be honest, there are some people that I think are better off that they have gone out on their own, because it gave them a different level of confidence and it gave them different opportunities that they would have never had, inside of a club that didn't really understand them, right? Mm-hmm. So I think that kind of came organically. But I think that is really a myth that, women get to a certain age and they want to stay home with their kids. I mean, I am a single mom. And I'm a professional single mom, which, that's unheard of. I was like, well, it's fine. We make it work. We figure it out. And so it doesn't need to be either or. And I guess people felt that it had to be either or once upon a time. Flexible schedules, ability to work from home, all of these things, our technology has given us opportunities that we didn't have before. But the other problem is, men in positions of power have said, oh, she's of that age where she's about to have kids and we don't want that to have that happen. Don't take away someone's opportunity because you think that they're going to have some life-changing things that'll mess you up. Like, they can figure it out. Give them the opportunity to figure it out. Put it in front of them. If they say no, then that's fine. But that's up to them to make that decision. It's not up to you to make the decision. So I think that we have to kind of just stop limiting each other. I can't say, oh, he's a middle-aged white guy, he's never going to give me a job.
He's probably going to get prostate cancer anyway.
Oh, goodness. Prayerfully not. No. But, I think that we need to give each other more of a chance and just be more willing to communicate about all those things. Yeah.
No, I mean, not to take it lightly, but because it comes up, women getting breast cancer.
We all have.
But everyone's got their, we are a family. We support each other, and how do we keep everybody all in the family?
Right.
Fantastic. Well, we're looking forward to all of the sessions coming up throughout the conference, on the diversity committee, and throughout the year. Hopefully, we can keep the stories going.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks.